When I first bought my BMW M3, I thought it was going to be everything I ever wanted out of a car. It's twin turbo, it's got ridiculous power, a lot of luxury features. People notice the car, even non-car people notice the car all the time. So I get the question a lot, why did I sell the car? What was the point of having it? And I only had it for 6 months. But after a little while, things started to change. After a couple months of driving the car, I realized how perfect the car felt. And that might sound very weird because how could something be too perfect? But the BMW M3, at least the G80, which is what I had, feels way too perfect. Yeah, it's fast, it has a lot of performance, it's quick, it handles well, but the car does everything for you. And mine was a manual rear wheel drive, so it is about as kind of fun and rowdy as a car like that could be. But when a car kind of does everything for you, and you kind of feel like any idiot can get in the car and drive it, and the car does everything, you don't have a use for any other car. And obviously, I don't need a car that does everything. Another thing for me is just how I use my cars. I like to have different cars for different purposes, which may sound like a first world problem, but again, when the M3 solves every problem with one car and is kind of boring to drive, I'm sorry, I know everybody's going to attack me for that. It loses its soul and it loses its purpose. I'm driving these cars around. I live in New York. I don't drive on, track roads. I don't drive on nice roads. You're driving these things purely to get the most out of them. I'm not driving a car like this because I'm really excited for how comfortable it's going to be or how easy it's going to be to drive. I drive this because it's kind of stupid and it's kind of horrible to drive at the end of the day. It's not really that comfortable. And that's the point of it when it comes to a car like that, right? It comes to a point that everything is so good on the M3 that you lose all the soul with the car. And that brings me to my next point with the M3. It's very good when you're going 100 miles an hour. If you're going anything under that, it's kind of very jolty, even with a manual where you can really kind of pick what gear you're in. It's very jolty. It's not very comfortable at low speeds, where living in New York, you have to be in a car that's comfortable doing both. And I can have way more fun with the car in all fairness when I'm going over 100 miles an hour. So when you get into a car like an M3 where it's kind of very uncomfortable and very weird to drive at low speeds and always feels like it has to be going 100 miles an hour to be fun, you kind of lose that, ease of driving. So here's a real breakdown of why I sold it. Number one, driving feel. I wanted something that felt more engaging. Second, the car is just repetitive. As crazy as it sounds for a car like that, it's repetitive. You know exactly what it's going to do. You know exactly how it's going to handle. You know exactly how it's going to feel every time you drive it. And the driving experience is just the same thing. It has a lot of torque. It drives really fast. It handles really well. You can't really break traction. Even with traction control off, it really wasn't that fun, in my opinion. Again, it might just be because I'm used to certain other cars. One of my friends said to me that the problem is I bought a Porsche first and then bought a BMW. I should have bought the BMW first and then the Porsche. But I think owning a Porsche kind of ruined that, especially when it comes down to the fact that my Porsche was $20,000 less than my BMW was and 10 times as much fun. And third, which kind of goes into my first point, my taste started changing in cars. I had the M3, I had the Golf R, I had the Q50 Red Sport, and I'm kind of over the whole sports sedan kind of movement with vehicles. I find the whole problem with those cars come down to the fact that they started as something and they tried to make a sports car. Whereas, say, something like a Cayman or something like a 911 or even something like a Miata is more of a sports car than an M5 is. The reason I say that is because an M5 at the end of the day started as a 530i. And of course, they change the suspension, they change the brakes, they change the engine, they change your transmission, they do all this tuning. And 100%, I'm not taking that away from cars like that. But when you drive something like an M3 or something like a Golf R or something like an RS5, it is still, an A5, a Golf, a 330 at the end of the day. And I find that with those types of cars, you can always feel it a little bit. Actually, the car that impressed me the most with that was the Golf R. I do regret selling that car. That thing drove so good. The Golf R is the best bang for your buck out there in terms of an all-around car. It's all-wheel drive. It's a hatch. You can get a manual. Thing's great. At the end of the day, do I regret selling it? Honestly, not even a little bit. It's an amazing car. Don't get me wrong. But they're like $75,000, $80,000. At least that's what mine was. And for that price, you can get something like this, even save 10, 15, maybe $20,000 and have more fun, get more curb appeal, and the car's going to drive and handle that. But if you want something that's fast, modern, and can kind of check all your boxes, then it's probably one of the best cars out there. But quite frankly, it's quite a bit overpriced. And for me, it really just didn't hit the way I wanted it to hit long term at all. And that's definitely something I'm starting to realize more and more as I get older and as I buy different cars. The best car on paper isn't always the best car for you. Just because something like an M3 or something like a Q50 or something like a C63 on paper looks like it should be the best car, it might not be the best car for you. Especially if you have multiple cars and you're in a position to have multiple vehicles like bikes and cars and things like that. If you want to, look here, I have my Volkswagen Atlas. This is my day-to-day car. So that's what I drive for the most part. I am curious to everyone who is thinking about getting an M3 or who has an M3. If you have an alternative opinion and you disagree with me, I'd love to hear your point and hear your point of view about it. If you think it's worth the money and the car is worth it, more power to you. It's not a bad car at all. it just didn't fit me, and I figured I'd talk about why I got rid of that car, and I only had it for like 7 months because everybody loves them and there's such a ridiculous hype around them right now. So I figured I'd give my 2 cents and give kind of a negative point of view on it, though it's not really negative. It is a good car, it's fantastic, but it's a little bit overhyped, it's definitely overpriced, and it checks every box too well. Every single person I know who is into cars, who drove it, all my friends, and these people have E63s, these people have Porsches, these people have all this stuff, and they all said the same thing. It's great, but it's just so easy to drive. And I think there's something to be said about that when it comes to cars, especially with performance cars and sports cars, is that when they're too easy to use and too easy to drive, it takes away the fun and the soul of that car. So I hope you guys enjoyed my little story time here, and thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Toodles!